Straight to Donald Trump, who joins us right now on the phone for his first interview since those controversial comments. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Trump.
Good morning.
Do you owe John McCain an apology?
No, not at all. Actually, if you look at Cheryl Atkinson's report last night, 4 times she said, I said perfectly, I said whatever it was, and it was absolutely fine. And she thought the press was covering me very, very unfairly, and she stated that strongly. And I respect her as a reporter and somebody that a lot of other people respect also. And very importantly, I got a standing ovation, the biggest ovation they had all weekend by far. When I left the room, it was a total standing ovation. It was wonderful to see. Nobody was insulted. What happened is later on, the Republican candidates, some of whom are registering 1% and 0, and they're very upset that I'm leading the polls by actually a nice margin. They're extremely upset, and they were extremely upset when the Nevada numbers just came out, and they're through the roof, too.
Mr. Trump, let's go back to this issue of John McCain, and you're talking about the Cheryl Atkinson piece. You said he's a war hero because he was captured. I believe perhaps he's a war hero. I want to read you a short bio of John McCain. He was shot down in 1967 on his 23rd bombing mission over North Vietnam. He fractured both arms and a leg when he ejected and nearly drowned when he parachuted into a lake. He was pulled out by North Vietnamese who crushed his shoulder with a rifle and bayoneted him. He was beaten, tortured, and interrogated. He spent 5.5 years as a POW. The North Vietnamese offered McCain early release for propaganda purposes. He refused until every man taken before him was released. He cannot raise his arms above his head to this day because of his wartime injuries. You do not think that is a war hero, captured or not?
I didn't say anything differently, and if you read and if you watch and take a look at what you have, I said nothing differently. I'm very disappointed in John McCain because the vets are horribly treated in this country. I'm fighting for the vets. I've done a lot for the vets, and the vets, in going around the campaign trail, they're treated like third-class citizens. He's done nothing to help the vets. And I will tell you, they are living in hell.
Let me tell you this, what the national commander of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, John Stroud, said about your comments. For someone who never served a day in uniform, to criticize the service and sacrifice of a combat wounded veteran is despicable. The founder and CEO of Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America, Paul Rieckhoff, an insult to everyone who has ever worn the uniform and to all Americans, and an attack on one veteran's service is an attack on us all. They apparently think you were criticizing Mr. McCain and saying he was not a war hero.
Well, maybe they don't speak to the same vets that I speak to, but I go all over the country and I speak to vets all the time, and they're absolutely having miserable times. It takes them 6, 7 days just to get into waiting in a reception room, just trying to get in to see a doctor. They're treated horribly, and everybody knows it. And
let's go back to your comments about John McCain.
And it's a scandal. And John McCain has done nothing to help the vets except talk.
Mr. Trump, I have covered the veterans issues for many, many years. Indeed, there are big troubles in the Veterans Administration.
To help the veterans except talk. And by the way, this all started, Martha, when we had thousands and thousands of people in Phoenix, Arizona, and John, who, by the way, are devastated by illegal immigration, something I'm very proud to have brought to the forefront. We had thousands of people, and he said they're all crazies. He called them crazies. And frankly, I think he owes them an apology.
Let me talk about your language about him being captured. You say you prefer those who aren't captured. What could John McCain have done not to be captured?
Well, I do say this. People that fought hard and weren't captured and went through a lot, they get no credit. Nobody even talks about them. They're like forgotten, and I think that's a shame if you want to know the truth. People that were not captured, that went in and fought, nobody talks about them. Those are heroes also.
I think people do talk about those people as well. But what did you mean? What did you mean? What did you mean you prefer those who aren't captured?
I want to give them credit because, frankly, they don't get the credit. John McCain gets credit. He was elected a senator, et cetera, and we'll give him all the credit. And as in the report, it said from Cheryl Atkinson 4 times, I said, he is a hero. But, you know, people choose little selective, like you try to do. People choose little selective pieces. If you read what I say or if you watch what I say, which is even better, you'll say that there was nothing wrong. But the people that weren't captured are also heroes, Martha.